Hey everyone, welcome back to Garnock Reviews. Today we're checking out something you're not going to find in every marina. We're looking at a very rare and very special 1956 Trumpy 550 Cockpit Motor Yacht. At the time of shooting this video, she was up for sale for $195,900 and she was lying in Jacksonville, Florida. If you've got a genuine interest in this boat, if you can email your contact details to me, I'll pass that on to the owner and have the owner contact you directly. This would make a great yacht for cruising up and down the intercoastal, heading south and cruising into the islands. But she's actually capable of doing a great loop. At 55 foot in length, she's got a beam of just under 14 feet and she's got a 4.5 foot draft. The owners owned this one for a number of years and he actually lived aboard permanently at one point, but she's now up for sale as the owners focusing on land-based projects. As we step on board, you'll love the woodwork finish on the inside just as much as the outside. It's just a few short steps that'll take you from the lower aft cockpit up into the main saloon and helm area. And I love the fact that this can be fully enclosed. You can relax in here with great comfort and keep it all air conditioned. But in the right weather, it is possible to slide those windows open, get some fresh air and some ventilation going. That centerpiece that you see behind the helm seat, that's actually a wet bar. And we've got the mini fridge freezer. We then have a very comfortable L-shaped seating area and there's storage underneath the seats. I also love how much visibility is available from the helm, especially for close quarter manoeuvrability. And you see we've also got a ton of artificial lights overhead, so you can relax and enjoy yourself out here regardless of if it's day or night. And on the port hand side we've got two standalone chairs, there's a little table between the two. And I like that these aren't fixed to the deck, so that way you can move them around depending on who you have on board and where you want everybody facing. And then if we head out on deck, I'll take you around and show you the outside of this one first. I love the woodwork finish that's on this one, and she has kept an undercover storage to keep the Florida sun off of that varnish. I like having handholds on either side, makes you feel very safe and secure. With the exception of the shore power cable, I love how clear the deck is for walking. If the boat was underway, you'd have plenty of room here with nothing to trip on. And there's plenty of room on the coach roof for laying out and relaxing, especially when at anchor. You've got a bench seating area here, which is low enough that it still gives clear visibility from the helm, so you can relax and enjoy yourself here while the boat's underway. And then you can see on the bow, we do have that windlass, and we've got two anchors on board, and a support arm here for launch and retrieval. This makes it far easier for anchoring, and you don't need a full complement of crew on board. The owner's been cruising this one for a number of years, and just him and his partner on board. And then as I pan the camera around and look aft, you'll see that classic Trumpy design, but you'll also see the benefit of having that low profile. She'll fit under most of your bridge clearance issues. She's certainly capable of doing a great loop. And although this one's well over 60 years old, she's still got that timeless classic design and still turns heads everywhere she goes. And you do have the same access down both the port and starboard side, which makes docking and your approach to lock gates far easier. You can use either side. And then on top of the wheelhouse, you'll see we've got, not only do we have navigation equipment, we've got the wind speed, we've got the radar, we've got foghorns, we've got the searchlight, but we do actually have a solid tender up here, including the davit arm to launch and retrieval, and there's also a storage box that's mounted up here, and that mast is easy enough to lower if required. And we pop back inside, and from this angle you can see how spacious this saloon area is, and again how much visibility you have and how much natural light you have shining through. And then I'll take you to the helm position, and I like that this one's got a combination of modern electronics as well as holding on to that classic nostalgia. So you've got the gyro compass in the middle, but we also do have a VHF radio, you've got a GPS chart plotter. This one does come with autopilot. You've got the period correct Morse controls for the engine, and you see the engine instrumentation includes a number of readouts from the revs to the pressure gauges to the fuel gauge. And then to the starboard side of the helm position, we've got an excellent area here for navigation charts, plenty of drawer space for all your charts, your documentation, and anything you think could be beneficial to have close at hand while you're underway. And then I also like the helm seat itself. This is somewhere you could easily enjoy sitting for hours on end, and you'll probably fit 3 adults here in comfort. And I like that it's got the footrest built into it as well. And then from the helm position, it's just a few short steps down, and this takes you into a lower saloon area. I like that we've got the solid handholds leading down into here. There's plenty of windows down here to give you that natural light, but we do also have the blinds in place to protect all the woodwork and also give you that extra privacy if needed. You've got seating to starboard, you've got a bench seat, and then you've got two individual seats. And if you notice, almost all the wood panelling in here, it pops off for storage behind it. And then the area behind the seats has got storage built into it that would make a great drinks cabinet. Somewhere to keep all the essentials close by for entertainment, family and friends. And again, you'll notice there's storage underneath the seats. There's storage throughout this yacht everywhere, which is what made it ideal as a liveaboard for the owner. And it's underneath this saloon that the main engines are, and I'll show you those engines before the video is finished. But first, if we head forward, I'll take you into the galley. Again, it's only a few short steps, but there are handholds in place to make it easier. You'll see we've got the full height fridge freezer. You've got more than ample storage for keeping all your dry goods, your pots, pans, plates, things like that, especially for long distance cruising. We've got the gas burner stovetop oven, you've got a microwave oven, but you also have an electric stovetop that's just much easier to use and clean. As I pan round, you'll see we've got the double sink. And it's behind these steps is the easiest way to access the engine room. There's multiple access points, but this is by far the easiest way to get in. Now as we go forward, this is typically going to be your crew quarters, but as the owner has been sailing this with just him and his partner, they've converted this into additional storage. Nothing was structurally altered, so all you have to do is clear this out, throw in a couple of mattresses, and you got two bunks on the starboard side. Assuming these were used as bunks, you can see we've got drawers down below underneath. And then we have got an overhead hatch, and I like the clever ladder that they have built in. There's just little brackets that fold out from the wall, but you'll be able to use these as an access point, especially in an emergency. And on the port side we've got more storage, and I like the fact that it's got this almost mesh effect to it, and that way there's plenty of ventilation goes in there, and nothing gets all mouldy and damp. The way it can do if you've got a solid door. At the very bow you see we've got the heads as well as access to the anchor locker, and I love that from here you can see some of the woodwork and build quality. This one's got a solid wooden hull, but she's cold moulded, so she's got a fiberglass hull on top of that, and it just means that it's far easier upkeep and has that long lasting effect, which is why at 66 years old this one's still going strong. And then as well as having a hedge compartment down here, this does have a separate shower compartment. The owner's currently using this as things for wet storage. But again, nothing was structurally changed in here, so if you do want to use this as crew quarters or even guest quarters, you've still got a full standing shower. And there's even an opening porthole in there for some ventilation, and get that steam out, and also let in some natural light. Then if you go back through the galley, through the saloon, there's a couple of steps down, and this takes you to the aft area for the accommodation, which is typically going to be the owners and guests accommodation. First up is the guest hedge compartment, and here you'll find a toilet, sink, and I also like the fact there's much storage in here for toiletries and personal belongings for everyone on board. Again, it has that mesh effect, so that there's plenty of air and ventilation. An opening port hatch, as well as artificial lights, and then this one's actually got a shower behind the door. And I should point out at this point that there's 150 gallons of fresh water on board. There's also a 60 gallon holding tank, and there's a 500 gallons of diesel on board. And then opposite here you've got the guest cabin, and this is actually 4 berths, not 2, because those panels you see along each wall, those fold down and become like bunk beds almost. I like that there was as much storage space in here from hanging lockers. There's a little chest, there's drawers under the bed. Plenty of room for your friends and family to relax on board with you for an extended period of time. I also like the little nautical features that's out. I always think that's appropriate for any boat, but I definitely think it's appropriate for a classic boat, something like this. Helps set the character for the place. Then as we head aft, this takes you into the owner's stateroom. You see there's 2 doors to the starboard side as we walk down here. Those are full height hanging locker space. And then originally we had the owner's berth, and then we had a day berth on the opposite side, but since the owner was using this as a liveaboard, they removed the mattress and they put in more furniture, and that way you've got drawers and cabinet space. But they do still have the mattress if you wanted to convert this back to a berth. Being that this is the owner's stateroom, this one is ensuite. Again, you'll find a toilet, the sink, you've got a full standing shower, and there's plenty of space in here for your toiletries and personal belongings. This one's definitely got all the bases covered for those that want to use this as a permanent liveaboard. And as we come out of the hedge compartment, and as I start to pan around this aft cabin, one of the design features I liked about this one is you can lead straight out to the aft cockpit. What the owner told me was that they would normally be anchored up, and then first thing in the morning, this is where they would come out. Sit back with your morning coffee, you can watch the sunrise, or at night, this can be your last retreat. Sit out here, perhaps with a drink, and then head on in after watching the sunset. And if you do move the chairs and table, there is a lazarette underneath here for additional storage. And then this one does have steps that lead over the transom down to the bathing platform for easy access to that tender that was above the wheelhouse. As much as I love filming the modern boats, especially the boat shows, sometimes there's just something about these classic boats that you don't see anymore. I've been fortunate enough to review a number of Trumpy and Huckins yachts, and you can definitely see the appeal in taking a trip down memory lane. And then if we go back into the galley, I'll show you the engine room access. In here you'll find a pair of Detroit diesel, they're 250 horsepower each. These will give you a cruising speed in the right conditions of around 12-13 knots, and she's got a maximum speed of around 15-16 knots. These are the original engines, but they've been serviced and maintained on a regular basis. They got somewhere in the region of 2200 hours on the clock. We also have a diesel generator down here. And I also like the fact that in past month or so, the owner has replaced all the batteries for the yacht. So although this boat is for sale, the owner's still maintaining it as if it was his own, and still using it on a somewhat regular basis when time allows. I'd like to thank the owner for the opportunity to come on board and share this video with you all. I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments down below. If you haven't done so already, please hit the like and subscribe button. It really does make a difference. And as always, I look forward to catching you on the next one. Thanks everyone.